That's what you see. That's what you see.
Thing is, we should agree that we're going
got the
to,
floor, please let him talk.
Settle on a number.
well, we should look at it and say, are we going to manage the deer population one way or the other, or not? Or let them just continue to explode when we don't have a natural predator here?
No, but they're not
And people would
exploding.
really complain if we had wolves here.
Please,
They would
let
not.
one person talk at a time, please.
So, either we kind of stand up to it and say we are going to have a deer policy, just like you would anything else, and say this is kind of the boundaries that we're willing to live in.
The problem I see with having a deer policy, and I don't have a problem with having a deer policy, is agreeing on how to count, what to count, and where to count them. Now, the argument that I hear on both sides of the picture is that one day you've got 50 and the next day you've got 99. Obviously they move.
Well, they move, but it's also the counting DNA.
Can I throw in 2 little cents here?
Can I comment to your comment, Bill? Because I have at least some first-hand experience. The first day we went up, it was a sunny day.
Yes.
And everybody will tell you that you really prefer a 6-inch snow base and you prefer a cloudy day.
Excuse me.
I witnessed firsthand.
Excuse me, I have to stop you there.
I witnessed firsthand that it's very, now I was a novice, it's very difficult to count deer. And what I saw was, you see the trunks coming up at you, you see dark brown trunks, you see dark brown branches, but when it's a sunny day, you see pale brown shadows, and they're very distinct, and all of that visual confusion is going on, and you're trying to pick out deer. It's not easy, and I concluded when I saw the 2 numbers on 2 consecutive days, one either guesses that we were that wrong on one of those days, or that the deer moved, or that the shadows had an effect on our count. I concluded it was the latter.
Okay. That was your conclusion.
Can I jump in
right,
with
it was
one
my
fact
conclusion.
that we're missing here?
1 second. I have to disagree with one point of yours, and I'm not trying to argue, but from what I understand from Chuck Stewart, a sunny day is the best day to count. It wasn't for you, but, quote, the experts that prefer a sunny day rather than a shady day. Good.
Okay.
Could I comment to your comment? If you go to Ryerson and talk to their wildlife manager, and if you talk to, was it Chris Burke, their wildlife manager, they both prefer overcast days.
One small piece of information for you, Bruce, with regard to yours. When we talk about, and let's take the largest number that's here, which is 99, there was more counted than the 4.5 square miles of Riverwoods. They counted into the forest preserve on both sides. I'm just saying, if you're going to figure out the math that they did, the math that they did, Bruce, was that it was 7.63 deer per square mile.
I will state it again. I will not argue those numbers with you. Full stop. All I'm saying is that we should, as a board, agree. First, get some people that actually know what they're talking about, because with all due respect to all of us, we don't have a clue what the hell we're talking about when it comes to deer. Look, how many of us are experts in deer in this
All we
room?
can do is quote the experts.
Well, I'd like to ask. I've never, all your experts. I've never met any of them. I've never heard
They've
any.
been here. They've been here numerous times,
Well,
including within the last year.
then I'm obviously peeved.
Well,
Yeah.
We had somebody over here want to say something first. No? Go ahead, Chuck.
I wouldn't mind being more educated on the topic. With respect to woodland health, the impact of deer on woodland health, and how counts are made, and what other people have tried and why it's been successful or unsuccessful. As Bruce said, I certainly don't feel like I'm the expert, and I have read things and read reports, but very often when you're reading a report, a question will come to you, and if you don't have the expert right here to ask, it's difficult to clarify, I think.
And honestly, obviously, control of deer population is something that is done regularly. I mean, our neighbors are doing it. We're the only one who's not doing it now. say, well, we don't have to do it because our neighbors are doing it, I think that's a cop-out. Lincolnshire is doing it, Ryerson is doing it, and we're not. We're kind of just saying from some moral perspective, we don't think it's appropriate. I think that we need to be better educated, and we may come to the conclusion that we don't need to do it because other people are doing it for us. And that's fine. Or we may come to the conclusion that we can't have our head in the sand and then we do need to do something. But at least it's an informed decision as opposed to one, no, we're just morally opposed to it. You know, no one wants to shoot a deer. But if there's a reason to do it, certainly if we thought that we had a high incidence of ticks in this community, we would be talking about a completely different situation. If we thought it was deer tick generated, you know, you'd have people up in arms, and they would be going, we need to do something about the deer population, okay? Well, deer ticks, I guess, are on a level over here as far as, you know, let's get something controlled. Eating trillium is a level down here, okay? But nonetheless, there is still an issue.
Okay.
Okay, now,
My question then is, okay, if the question that came up was the deer fences, okay? That was the question that came up. And at the time, the deer fences were illegal, they're still illegal. To this day, they're still illegal because we have not passed an ordinance that makes them either grandfathered or whatever. So that's out. Now, trying to do the compromise, and that's what I really tried to do, was let's manage the deer, okay? Will all the deer fences come down?
If we manage the deer.
will any deer fence come down?
You know, I think,
That's the question.
I mean, I think that.
And that's
we
the
can-
purpose of the compromise.
Well, I'm gonna answer the question.
Yes.
Okay? I don't think it would happen overnight, but I think if people saw their neighbors' woodlands being restored to a level that was, you know, appropriate, I think people would rather not have fences. I think fences were the result of deer browse. So if my neighbor who has a fence, which they don't, I'm just saying, if they had a fence, if they saw that suddenly I'm having, you know, trillium growing in my yard and my wife's not spraying with deer away everything every day, they'd say, well, maybe we don't need this fence. Or we could say, those fences have to come down because the problem is no longer there and it's an illegal fence and it should come down.
But here's my next point. To my knowledge, we have less than 40 deer fences in the village.
It's a lot.
Most of them are here.
Just
Yeah.
one second. Is that correct, Pat?
That's what we
33.
How many,
It's 31.
31 deer fences.
how many residents though have
Well,
cages?
let me finish. We have 31 deer fences in the village, of which I know at least 15 of them, maybe 20, were put up to protect flower gardens or gardens, not for any other purpose, but to protect their
Specific
specific
Plantings.
gardens.
Ornamental plantings.
Ornamentals, right. Not for the woodlands. You may say put the lump sum together, but not somebody who did
I
the
understand.
whole thing. Then a couple of them went up, you know, 4 acres, lot line to lot line. I mean, that was, I think, was one of the things that really set everybody off, including me. So there haven't been that many that went up, and the whole thing went up because, you know, there was an election. And we said, they're not supposed to be there. You know, let's talk about it. And I said, okay, they're up. We should have put them down right away, we didn't. Let's make a compromise. And that's what this is
No, I
about.
think it was a valiant effort. And I don't think anyone's criticizing what has happened in the past up to today. The question is, or the board has voted, I guess,
The board has voted.
that the ordinance as presented, for whatever reason, is not one that the board wants to pass.
Well, I would
So-
like recommendations to change it, or, right now, what I see this happening, I see another 2 years of